All right, the recording has started, and this is the October 5th, 2021 Rook community meeting. So let's dive on into our milestones here and go through the agenda. It doesn't look like we're necessarily strictly planning on another patch release for 1.6. So we can open the board here briefly and see if there's anything there, but I'm anticipating not, if we're not expecting even a release unless something comes up. There's nothing in the blocking release column.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think there's anything significant or that I recall fixing for 1.6 in the last bit. So if needed, we can release in a couple of weeks, which would be a month cadence at this point. So we'll see what comes up, but nothing currently, I think.
Yeah, that sounds good. And then if anything comes up, we can deal with that, and we have the ability to do a patch, no problem. So let's take a look at 1.7, which we do have an upcoming release for. We'll do 1.7.5 later on this week. So let's take a look, see at the board there, and talk about what will be in that patch and what's left, perhaps, too.
Yep. So there's one item I've got there in blocking release. So there's an issue in RBD, so deep down in Ceph, which is causing some volume creation to hang from the CSI driver. So we just need to initialize the pool right after we create a pool, and that will work around this issue until it's fixed in the next Ceph release. So anyway, hopefully we'll have that out. I got to ping the CSI team and see if I thought they were working on it. Rakshith from CSI. So yep. Otherwise, it's pretty much just nothing blocking, but trying to get fixes moved through as usual. Yeah, I don't have anything else to report specifically around 1.7.
Any other notes from other folks on 1.7? All right. Well, then we're anticipating a release of 1.7 this week. And we will move on to 1.8 then, which we are working, they're still somewhat early in the cycle there, and working towards a release in early December. So let's bring up that project board and go ahead and talk about things that maybe we want to call out here as obstacles or risks or big, I messed up my Zoom here. There we go, I'm back on my screen. Yeah, obstacles, risks, or big accomplishments that we already want to call out.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to review this board before the meeting, but I think, so, I mean, some big changes we have coming are, we talked about before, like remove Nautilus support, remove the Flex driver, update the minimum version to Kubernetes 1.16 that's supported. And a couple of those have already been merged. I think not the Nautilus change, we can probably merge pretty soon. One other change I think we mentioned in the last meeting, but moving the example YAMLs to a different folder. We're holding off on that one a little longer because I think that'll cause more merge conflicts if we put it in master too soon. There's bucket notifications is one of the big features coming. It's making good progress. Got some things around Multus. What else on the list there? Update control runtime version to 0.10. Yeah, Shabam working on that one. I don't know, just generally moving along with features and things. That's all I can think of. Anybody else? No.
In terms of changing the directory layout, you said holding off on that one to prevent merge conflicts. That's because we have outstanding PRs that are touching them and kind of work in flight that hasn't landed into master yet. That's the take.
Well, if the merge conflicts that are still happening, we're just frequently backporting to 1.7 quite a bit still. And so if we change it in master and then we need to backport anything that touches the YAMLs.
Oh, it's about backports. I see.
It'd be a backport merge conflict. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we're just holding on the PR a couple more weeks, month more or something. I think once 1.7 backports calm down more, then we'll just go ahead with it.
Okay, that sounds good.
Was that
Mr. Baum, were you saying something? You were a little bit quiet for a second.
Am I audible now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh. So, Travis, we are planning to hold Safe Nautilus like for one more month because of the same reason of the change in directory layout, or we can like merge Safe Nautilus earlier, like not wait 1 month or 2 months. So.
Yeah, I think we could do that one sooner than the layout change. I'll take another look at that today and see. Maybe it's fine to go ahead with that one. I can't remember the big changes. I think I feel like it's less risk, but I'll take another look. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else have something? All right, on to community topics then.
Yeah, all right, and then we'll continue to make progress on 1.8 then. And once again, in the release cycle here, the expected release date is around the early December. So before folks head off for a quiet time during holidays. Mm-hmm. All right, so did Alex show for his topic here? Oh, looks like we don't have Alex here, but we could still represent him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's asking about the operator kit and if it's still being maintained at all. Should it be archived or deprecated? Well, so yeah, I looked at the commit history briefly. We haven't committed to it for over 2 years now. And it feels like longer than that. It feels like forever since we've used it. So yeah, we might want to consider putting it in read-only mode. Blaine, you have a comment there? Don't forget to check for all usage. Yeah, we haven't been referencing it from the other Rook repos for probably a couple of years too. So we're safe there. And I would hope people from the community have moved on. But if we put it in read-only, I don't think that'll block anybody from still using it. So I like that idea.
Does GitHub have any tooling to check for references across like basically all repos? Like if like somebody's using it in a fork or something like that.
I don't know.
I feel like they'd be able to at least like in search or something like that. If you search for like the import path across all of GitHub, that might be. I'm not necessarily expecting a lot of hits or anything, but that might be nice to do as well.
So I'll look at that. The operator kit was kind of my thing to start with, so I'll be happy to archive it or whatever, as long as it's not breaking anybody. Yep.
Okay, cool. That sounds good. It doesn't sound like too risky. I don't anticipate that there's going to be a big dependency on that one that we can't make any progress with.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right. So 0 Jenkins, you're telling me?
Yeah, Jenkins is down. We haven't used it for the last couple of months and felt good enough. There's a backup just in case we ever wanted to bring it back up for some reason, but none so far. It's all good.
How about so we have a backup of the instance there. How about but we're still using storage in that account, right? Like the S3 buckets, we're still putting artifacts and it's owned by that account, right?
That's right. Yeah, so there's still S3 buckets.
So that will still continue to maintain. And
yeah, I think the EBS volumes and snapshots from backing up Jenkins. So at some point when we're even more confident we never need Jenkins, we could just delete those, I think. We'll give that a few more months, maybe.
Yeah, older backups, like older snapshots in the past.
Right. Just anything related to Jenkins.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds good. But this is great. Definitely a milestone to no longer have old Jenkins running there. Jenkins served us well, but its time has come, and now we can move on and live a new life Jenkins free. Okay.
All right.
So the new Kubectl plugin that we have here. So Bum, do you want to kind of drive the conversation here about getting our first release out, or what's left for that?
Yeah.
Or
So I have opened the issue like to get the thoughts on having first release of this tool, because after the release I will use um, the zip file of the release to write the manifest for the crew plugin that I will have to post, that I will have to create via on the Index repo. So I have opened the issue, like if you can open the issue tab, click on that and the first one. So I have like described why we need that, and also added some links like which says what the example manifest look like and why we need the first release of this tool to make more progress, and what are steps required to have the plugin available with Crew. So yeah, just wanted to get thoughts on the release thing.
Yeah, I forgot to take a look at that. So we should get that release going. And so the crew just requires us to do the GitHub release, and then we'll use the zip file from that. Or
Yeah. If you can try, just take an example of any existing manifest, like the one that I have mentioned in the issue, like that will give you idea how we write the manifest and why we need the release.
Mhm.
It will give a good idea.
Yep. Sounds good. Okay. Yeah, I think we just need to go through that then. Hopefully I'll take a look today.
Yeah, I think my only like consideration for releasing the crew plugin is to release it with like an alpha, like the designation, I guess, for lack of like finding a better word, just so that it's clear that we're not making any promise to like keep the AI or keep the API or like user commands stable while we like kind of develop what the overall structure of the commands are going to be.
Mm-hmm. And Blaine, I'm not super up to date on like any specifics that Crew might need for semantic versioning. But I'm assuming though that it can handle any well-formed semantic versions. You could have like a dash alpha in the semver, and Crew would still be able to install and upgrade it over time and things like that.
Yeah, I think semver v2 specifies like using the alpha like it's not subscript, it's a but using the alpha like at the end is like still a valid semver. Yeah, they talk about like alpha and beta versions. So that's really my only comment there, is I think whatever we do is we should release as like 0.0.1 dash alpha.
Or if we mark the release as a pre-release, maybe that's sufficient. And I don't know, I guess the documentation on our README may be sufficient, and we can just document it as, yes, it's early. This is 0.0.1. Don't expect any stability here, basically.
Yeah, I think, I guess my push for actually putting like alpha in a version is that it like follows more like the Kubernetes API, which I think people are more used to.
Yeah. I don't have a strong opinion. I guess the thought going through my mind is just that, it's a command line tool. It's not as strict API people will be coding against. It's something they'll be typing or have aliases for or something. And so
yeah, I don't know how, like,
fine.
I mean, we've already seen that Rook users will script their upgrades despite the upgrade guide, like, having slight changes between releases. So I'd rather not have us assume that they're not going to use it for scripting when I think they almost certainly will.
Yeah, I mean, not that they won't use it for scripting. I'm just saying if we change commands between versions, I guess, I'm not sure a breaking change will be a concern for a tool like this, but maybe I'm thinking about it too simply. We can see how it goes. And yeah, for now, we can certainly put alpha in, but for the first release, that's obviously alpha status. So that sounds good for now anyway.
Yeah, and then definitely we should have an understanding of how Crew as like a package manager tool sort of thing handles upgrades or version the semantic versioning increasing that we're doing over time also. So make sure that it does a good job of being able to make get the plugin updated to the latest as we're continuing to make changes to it, so people don't have a rough experience with that.
Yeah. And the plugin itself is it's literally a bash script that will, when you update it, you'll drop in a new bash script that overrides the old one. So the upgrade will be very simple that way.
Yeah, yes, the logic there, but I don't myself have an understanding of how Crew looks at the manifest and retrieves the artifacts from where the manifest points to, and if it does a check of, oh, this version is not a higher version than the last one, or if there's any funny business there, we should kind of get a good understanding of what Crew does from a metadata perspective to actually go and do the upgrade. The upgrade itself is like, yeah, switching out a new shell script for an old one or whatever, but the metadata around it and how Crew manages that as a package manager is good to understand.
Right. Sounds good.
Cool. But getting this out, soon and being clear that it's an alpha is totally reasonable to me. Getting more access to it.
Mm-hmm. I guess I'm curious, Shubham, while you're looking at that, or I'll take a look as I'm reviewing it too. What do other plugins do for this sort of the alpha question, or so we'll see.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, and then Shubham, you have another agenda item here.
I think Travis can highlight that more.
Oh yeah. I mean, for the past year, we've had the broken FOSSA license, and it's been in my action items forever. And I thought if we're actually going to get something done, I should ask Shubham to do it. so anyway, yeah, he's taking a look at that, and we just need to get access to the SNCC license now that CNCF said. Amy said we should have one available. So I'll ping her and figure that out so we can get that tool running. And yeah, and then we can hopefully just turn off FOSSA. Yes. I'm not clear if this means we replace the badge with a SNCC badge on the README or what. I just haven't looked at it.
Yeah, if they have one, let's slap a SNCC badge on there and let people know that we're proud to be using old SNCC here. Right. We're done with FOSSA. Sorry, FOSSA, but this has been a miserable experience.
Right. Seriously. It worked for a day a couple weeks ago.
That was probably a mistake.
There was a bug that it worked.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, probably. Okay, great. Yeah, this is great. I'm really happy to see this for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else for the fairly short agenda today? Okay. Well, if there's nothing else for us to be bringing up here today, then we've gone through all the agenda items, and then we could go ahead and adjourn.
All right.
Alrighty. Thanks,
Everyone.
everybody.
Bye.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah.